Gentlemen, let me ask you something quietly but directly. Have you ever laid awake at night after intimacy, wondering, did I last long enough? It's a question so many men carry silently, often for decades, but rarely speak aloud. Some worry they're too quick. Others wonder if taking too long is just as bad. And underneath all that doubt is a very human curiosity. What do women really want in bed? How long is long enough to satisfy her and feel confident yourself? Stay with me because the truth is not what most men think. In fact, the answer may take a huge weight off your shoulders. But before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button so YouTube shows this to more men who need it. Subscribe if you want honest, science-based advice about men's health. And let me know in the comments, where are you watching from? I love seeing our community of men from around the world supporting each other. All right, let's tackle the biggest myth head on. That great sex is measured purely in minutes. From locker room talk to movies, we've been fed the same message for years. The longer you last, the more of a man you are. If you finish in just a few minutes, failure. If you can go half an hour or more, hero. But let me tell you, as a urologist, that belief is false, and it's damaging. Why? Because sex isn't a stopwatch contest. It's not about setting some arbitrary record. Lasting longer does not automatically equal better satisfaction. For women, for you, for real intimacy, satisfaction is far more complex, far more human, and far more nuanced than a ticking clock. Hi, I'm Dr. Jocelyn. I've spent the last 5 years as a practicing urologist, working with men and couples through some of their most private struggles. And I've seen the relief in a man's eyes when he realizes he's not broken. I've seen the tears of gratitude when couples finally understand what really matters in the bedroom. That's why I'm here with you today, to bring you science, yes, but also reassurance. Because once you let go of myths and see the truth, intimacy becomes lighter, freer, and far more satisfying. So let's break this down together in a simple countdown. The 4 things you need to know about how long you should really last in bed. 1. The numbers, what science really says. Let's start with hard data. Clinical studies have measured what's called intravaginal ejaculatory latency time. Basically, how long from penetration to climax. The average between 5 and 7 minutes, and not 30, not an hour, 5 to 7. Now, to some men, that number sounds shockingly short, almost like nature played a cruel trick. But here's the truth. It's not a flaw. It's biology. It's how most healthy men's bodies are wired. And here's the kicker. Satisfaction doesn't follow that same line. A man who lasts 7 minutes with focus, tenderness, and variety can create far more pleasure than a man who lasts 30 minutes but is disconnected, repetitive, or distracted. So if you've been comparing yourself to myths, let this sink in. The average is far less than you've been led to believe, and what truly matters is not the number, it's the experience. 2. Women's needs. Why foreplay isn't optional. Here's something many men miss. A woman's arousal doesn't work on the same timeline as a man's. For you, desire can spark quickly. For many women, it's slower, it builds gradually, it requires connection, safety, anticipation. That's why foreplay is not just extra, it's essential. When you spend 10, 15, even 20 minutes on kissing, touching, teasing, you're not wasting time. You're priming her body for deeper pleasure. Biologically, here's what happens. Blood flow increases to her most sensitive areas, natural lubrication builds. Her nervous system shifts into arousal mode. Emotionally, she feels cherished, desired, and safe to fully open up. Practically, this means that when penetration begins, her body is ready. Sensitivity is heightened. Pleasure is magnified. Without that foundation, no amount of lasting longer will feel truly satisfying for her. 3. The sweet spot. How long is enough? Now let's talk specifics. If penetration lasts 1 to 2 minutes, for most women that's too short. Their bodies don't have enough time to transition from arousal to deeper pleasure. It feels incomplete, even frustrating. But once you're in the range of 7 to 13 minutes, that's where satisfaction rates rise dramatically. This is the sweet spot. In this window, her body has time to build arousal. You have space for variety, changes in rhythm, depth, position. And both of you experience intimacy as a journey rather than a race. Interestingly, going too long isn't always better. Beyond 20 minutes, many women report fatigue, discomfort, even a sense that it's dragged out. sensitivity fades, and excitement turns into strain. So here's the takeaway. Aim for that 7 to 15 minute range of penetration, supported by generous foreplay and emotional presence. That's the formula that satisfies the majority of women. 4. The hidden enemy, performance pressure. Now, this is the silent killer of intimacy. You know the thoughts, am I lasting long enough? Is she satisfied? What if I finish too quickly? The moment those thoughts creep in, your body shifts into anxiety mode. Blood vessels constrict, muscles tighten, adrenaline spikes. And guess what? Anxiety actually makes climax happen faster. The very thing you're afraid of becomes more likely. It's a vicious cycle. And women sense it. They feel when you're distracted, when your energy is tense. It makes the moment feel mechanical, like a test you're trying to pass instead of an experience you're sharing. The truth, what women crave most is presence. They want you fully there, attentive, curious, engaged. When you stop obsessing over the clock and start focusing on her breathing, her sounds, her body, everything changes. Your body relaxes. Climax slows down naturally. Connection deepens. By choosing presence over pressure, you literally rewire the chemistry of the moment in your favor. So, how do you put this into practice? Slow down. Think of intimacy as a dance, not a sprint. Adjust rhythm, take pauses, explore, breathe. Deep, slow breaths calm your nervous system and naturally delay climax. Strengthen your pelvic floor. Simple Kegel exercises give you more control and firmer erections. Mix it up. Change positions, shift pace, focus on her pleasure. Variety keeps things alive. Invest in foreplay and afterplay. What happens before and after matters just as much as penetration. These aren't tricks. They're tools that honor how both your body and hers are designed. And let me say this clearly. You are not broken. You are not less of a man if you don't last 30 minutes. Your worth isn't measured by a stopwatch. It's measured by how present you are, how much connection you create, how cherished your partner feels in your arms. Age does change things, yes, but it does not end your vitality. In fact, with wisdom and small adjustments, intimacy can become more fulfilling now than it ever was in your 20s. So how long should men really last in bed? Science gives us a guideline, about 7 to 15 minutes of intercourse. But the deeper truth is this: satisfaction isn't measured in minutes. It's measured in presence, in variety, in confidence, in connection. Women don't want a human stopwatch. They want a partner who makes them feel alive, desired, and deeply connected. Gentlemen, if you walk away with one lesson today, let it be this. Don't obsess over the clock, obsess over her. Do that, and you'll not only satisfy her, you'll rediscover your own confidence, your own vitality, and the joy of intimacy that feels alive again. If this message resonated, hit that like button. Subscribe for more men's health insights, and share this video with a brother or friend who needs to hear it. Remember, age is not the end of vitality. Small changes bring back confidence, freedom, and dignity. You deserve that.